the intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Hey everybody, welcome back. And today I actually want to take a look and talk with you about a problem I think the game has that is multifaceted. And that is the lack of content for players level 34 and below. Now, here's why the issue is something I think that needs to be addressed quickly. For multiple reasons, and this whole video is about it. But simply put, this game has a ton of new players. We're talking about tens of thousands of new players, and as someone who restarts the game semi-often, at least once a year, I can say that I run into a lot of these players all the time. Now, here's the thing though, like as a game, we have to acknowledge where the majority of players are. The majority of players are level 35 to 45 in that range. Now, because we know about where they are, any game is trying to plan for the future. At the same time, you can't forget your starter players. You have to make sure that new players have a reason to stay in the game that is intuitive and that it's easy to learn, pick up, and enjoy. And the reason I chose to bring this up today is February 2023. There's simply not much to do if you're a lower level player. Now, of course, you want to get out there and work on your Vidar, which this is actually on my level 29 account. Shout out to WPM, who I'm in over there. I've got tier 5 of Vidar. Needs a little bit of leveling up, needs a little bit of love, but this is a lot of, like where a lot of players in the game are still at. And even though we have these players in the 50s and even several at level 60, what we still have is a very large user base of you who aren't there yet. But at the same time, content, and we talk about this on Discord a lot, content's not really rolling out for those players. I mean, to the point of, look, there are some benefits. Like, for example, you lower levels aren't having to go mine 3 million titanium. Yay! I've been told they're going to consider working on that. We'll see what happens. But yay! I love mining 3 million titanium. That's a meme I made for our Discord. And yeah, but seriously, when we talk about level 35 to 45, what all have they gotten? Well, just in the past year, you've got the Defiant, the Talios, the Fisha, the Mantis, the Cerritos. I know the Mantis is kind of like on the border there. I could have included the Amalgam, but I didn't. So several ships, and then this is a big one right here. Officer sourcing for Strange New Worlds, for the Borg, for Deep Space Nine, for lower decks. A lot of things that are locked behind a high level wall. And in itself, that's not necessarily a bad thing because again, you get down to like an overwhelming thing because even where I'm at, I've got to work on the Vidar, Stella, the Discovery, the Franklin, the Devore. Not to mention I've got, about 100 officers that are available to me that I need to work on maxing anyway. So it's not like there's a lack of content, but there still needs to be that element of freshness, right? And we talked about this a lot, and actually Community Manager Beck, for those that don't remember, Community Manager Beck, who is actually my friend Beck, so I like Beck. I'm partial to Beck. Beck talked about this when she was playing the game, about 8 months ago, where it just came out and she lost interest. Like she basically took a break for a month because there was nothing for her. And that's my worry now is like we get to this month, and I will say, yes, I am glad that there's events that are trying to include all level ranges. Hostile Hunt for Battle Pass. Good. That means everybody can complete it. But in terms of like really engaging, these officers I'm not going to get these officers on my main account, let alone level 29. So you reach this really awkward area where you have to make content. You really want content to be focused on where the game's going, where players are going, but at the same time, you have to address your current players, your new players, your players who maybe move at a slower pace than others. Because one thing that gets lost is the game economy has increased dramatically. And I think that's a good thing, right? One thing that hasn't caught up though is ship sourcing. Ship sourcing is still entirely too slow, and officer sourcing. Neither of these have improved for the lower levels yet. Let me give you a visual example of how much, and we're going to use everybody's favorite thing in this game, packs. We're going to use packs. Yay! If you love packs, comment down below. Yay! Packs. Everybody here loves packs, right? So we're going to take a look at the February Elite pack. Now, you might ask, well, Rev, why the heck are you bringing that up? This has nothing to do with anything. I want to take a look at these right here. This is a great way to show you how the economy has changed because packs are going to change and events change as well to match that. So this is what I would get if I bought the Elite February Daily Reward Pack. This is the $100 one. The reason I'm bringing this up is actually I want to put up on the screen real quick. Look at this bad boy. 1, camera quality, absolutely awful. 2, posture check, young man. Puff your chest out, stand up, act like you have some pride. And then also look at the difference in uncommons and rares that's paying out. So the uncommons about double, but look at the difference in rares the game now gives out. Trying to incentivize moving quicker, it allows you to get better investment into certain researches, as well as max out ships a lot faster, because now you're getting those rares. Again, this is showing a pack example just because it's very easy to bring up, but the economy has improved. I've done multiple videos showing how the battle pass has increased every time it's gone around, or every, 2 times a year we have an increase in the battle pass rewards, we have an increase in event payouts. Then obviously we have the big refinery improvement for some players in the 30s and 40s and etc. That has increased it even more. So we have seen a pretty dramatic shift in the growth of the economy of the game for new players, whether you're a spender or free to play. New server, old server, events pay out a lot more. But what they don't do is, one, new content does not generally drive new engagement. And look, I can't say that there's absolutely nothing, because look, we did get fleet commanders for all players. But at the same time, that's kind of like how the exocomp rolled out and everything. Like, buildings are good. And I can tell you on this level 29 account, this stuff does help out. And honestly, this is more noticeable on a newer player than it is on an older player anyway. Because once you get to the 40s and 50s, you have so much research that little things like this don't really do anything for you, but they actually do a lot for you at this level. So I have to give a little bit of, acknowledgement to that, but at the same time, Fleet Commanders is nothing active, right? That's pretty passive. And one thing that we talked about that would help with both sourcing of ships and officers is for them to find a way to start rerunning old arcs to help speed up lower level content, because the truth of it is, while it might be old content for me, a lot of you watching, and actually do me a huge solid, like this video and comment if you have never done the original series arc. Maybe you've never done the Next Generation arc. Have you ever done the original Borg arc? Which honestly, we never mind. Don't do that. You just, anybody complaining about 3 million mine and titanium never had to go through the original Borg arc, which was absolutely awful. Oh my gosh, it was their first attempt at a battle pass, and just 3 years ago. Woof. So, but for real though, like, there are ways to bring engagement back, rerun some old content, just update some of the event rewards, and then give these players the ability to not only move in the game, but also get what they are missing that other players have had access to. And the reason I'm so big on this is, and I know there are going to be plenty of players in the comment section who are going to be like, well, Ref, I've been playing for 3 years and I'm level 36. Realistically, and this is happening today in the game, you can make it from level 1 to level 34 in 6 months based on the economy of the game, just the amount of uncommons you're getting, rares you're getting, etc. This does not, however, account for the fact that you've got specialty ships galore. It's going to take you 10 weeks to get the Vidar. Now, if you get an event store on the way, you can cut that in half. Bam. So let's just say it takes you a month. Now you still got the Franklin, the Discovery, the Devore, the Bonnie Bay, the Stella, the Meridian, which the Meridian can only be sourced through event stores right now anyway. So what you don't have catching up is everything else. The economy can get you level 34, but what you end up being is a level 34 player who has nothing, who is extremely underpowered, extremely rushed, lacking officers, probably doesn't even have max prime Roach. And there have been little things to help with that, like field training. Again, I'm not trying to just bash, I am trying to give credit where it's due. And I do think field training does a lot of good for this game. But more importantly, what you need is active engagement. Field training only goes so far. Field training is like a little training manual of telling you how to play the game in the beginning, which is needed, good. But what you need is engagement. What you need is players falling in love with these events and enjoying what they're doing and feeling like they're a part of what we're doing right now, even if it's a little bit different. Because at the moment, if you're like a level 25 player, you're not going anywhere near the new armadas. You do get to enjoy some lag, apparently. You're not going anywhere near the new armadas. You're not going anywhere near the new officers. You're peering from afar, and sure, events to accrue resources are great. Yay. Tokens. But that's not the excitement, right? Everybody wants the new thing. And that's the whole reason we build games around fear of missing out. FOMO. So the difficulty is, if we are going to do this, we're going to go after our main players, our mainstay players, and players who are leveling up, and give them all this new content. This is just quickly jotted out. Obviously, this is not everything that's happened for, over the past year. But we've got to find a way to do the same thing for new players in the game so we can keep player retention is so big for me. I want players to join this game now because it is a new game still. It is still a fresh game, but You got to be able to experience that in some way or another. So this video is really ending with saying, you watching this video, what would you like to see? What do you want? We talked about this a little bit after the state of the game, and shout out to Beck for being part of that, but we need to find a way to make it to where you're a lower level, or you're returning to the game, you're starting over new, or you're a new player, because there are thousands of new players joining every quarter. I'm not exaggerating, y'all. This game is a large game, a large population, and more players are still joining every day. Got to find a way to make the game better for them so they can get to all the cool stuff, so that they can become the Rev Deuce at level 45 out grinding in soul, right? Like we want to do that. Like we want to eventually be this guy. Look at all that. Look at that spender with his research trees. Look at all this. Oh man, we want to get here. To get here, we got to update 1 through 34. To get here, we got to start making 1 through 34 more fun, and we've got to start making it more engaging. Hopefully Scopa listens to this video, and hopefully Scopa listens to you. I can only do that if you comment, like the video, and do all the other things that are very cliche to every YouTube video. Let me know what you think down below. Live long and prosper. Stay safe with the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Literally, me. See? That's me. Bye.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.